Welcome to the continuation of our long-term plan hearings meeting. We've got a number of submitters this afternoon. So what I'd like to do is to start with our first submitter, Paul Horgan from Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke. So Paul and Gail, welcome. Good to see you both. Welcome to the table. And you've got 10 minutes to present to us on our long-term plan this afternoon. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you. I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Gail Gordon. I'm from Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke. I'm on the executive there. I'm the deputy chair and also represent Rāpaki on Te Runanga o Ngāi Tahu board. Paul Horgan works for Rāpaki. I'm very lucky to have him there, and he is our natural resources manager. Deals with everything there. So, thank you for the opportunity. We're here to represent Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke. We are the Hapū that holds mana whenua and mana moana over the takiwā, which centres on Whakaroapo, Littleton Harbour, and extends out to our other awa boundaries. Our Hapū represents upwards of 8,000 whānau members, and this submission is on behalf of them all. Just to start with, we find it difficult to separate out each section and area of our space to address an isolation. Our Te Ao Māori view is of a connected, reactive, holistic world where everything has a relationship and impact on each other, be it people, animal, plant, land, sea and other waters. Care, respect for and protection of people, natural resources and environment are at the centre, should be at the centre of all decision makings. Co-design of a holistic strategic plan based on Te Uka, Te Tai principles for Whakaroapo is what we are searching for. We would like to restore the cultural and ecological health of Whakaroapo as per our Whakaora catchment plan. We'd like to achieve the integrated management as per Section 30, Section 1A of the RMA Act, and we would like to have climate change strategies in place.
Kia ora, Gail and I are going to have a bit of a tag team this afternoon, so I'm going to guide you through the next three sections of the Rāpaki submission, and I refer firstly to Section 5 of the submission, and that is a call for a review of the Christchurch City District Plan, and also Section 6 of the submission, which sets out the principles surrounding Kiu Taki Tai. Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke want to see a review of the district plan as far as it pertains to Whakaroapo. Funded over the next 3 years, this would coincide with the review of the regional coastal plan by ECAN and also of its regional policy statement, together with the changes that it will be making in accordance with the Essential Freshwater Programme of Action. So it's a very busy space for ECAN at the moment in terms of regulatory review, and there would almost be a piece of the puzzle missing if the City Council weren't at the table in terms of that review process. So due to timing and response to emergencies over the past decade, the district plan and associated ECAN plans have been rushed, have numerous inadequacies and gaps, and do not reflect mana whenua values. They also create areas of concern as set out in Section 5 and 6 of our submission. The Hapū wants to co-design these plans with our treaty partners. We want to ensure a holistic, connected and responsive plan for our rohe, whenua and moana, one which has the principles of Kiu Taki Tai, from the mountains to the sea, at its heart, and provides for the basics of life for all people, care for the environment and best practices in all we do. We want the City Council and Regional Council, in conjunction with mana whenua, to work collaboratively together to review each of their respective planning instruments and to achieve an integrated and synchronised regulatory framework. Now, I'll just add quickly there, at present, we have a separate plan for land, a separate plan for fresh water, a separate plan for the coast. That doesn't work from a Te Ao Māori point of view. Everything is connected, and it's artificial to separate those aspects of the environment out into separate standalone planning documents. Now I'll turn, I know I've only got 10 minutes, so I'll turn to section 7 of the submission, which relates to the Whakaora Healthy Harbour Partnership. Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke request that the City Council make an annual commitment of $100,000 plus one full-time equivalent person to this kaupapa. The successes related to this plan are major, from winning planning awards to bringing together numerous communities around Whakaropō in a mutually supportive environment and creating buy-in to environmental best practice with a varied range of individuals alongside cultural knowledge and practice. This momentum must be maintained, and Ngāti Wheke and other plan partners have made a commitment to this. The plan deserves more than just another community project approach from CCC to continue its successes and to show what can be achieved with these shared aspirations and holistic approach. Now, it is only fair that, considering the annual financial commitment that the Regional Council makes to the Whakaora Partnership, that the City Council does the same. By doing this, the City Council will be able to fulfil its partnership responsibilities more effectually. Section 8, roadside cutting. We've heard a lot about this over the past year, and it is an area of significant concern for the Runanga. Te Hapū and Ngāti Wheke request that the City Council develop a bespoke Whakaropō roadside cutting strategy and action plan. While this may seem a small item of little interest, the impact of sedimentation runoff into Whakaropō is a major area of concern in terms of environmental impact on the harbour and mahingakai health. Trials have already been carried out, and knowledge gained from these programs will help development of best practice in a number of areas. For Ngāti Wheke, it has heard a lot of talk and seen a lot of gesturing as to how the issue of roadside cutting might best be addressed, and now the Runanga wants to see the City Council take ownership of the matter and work towards a solution-focused action plan to address the severe and persistent adverse effects of roadside cuttings in Whakaropō. Back to you, Gail.
Kia, thank you. I'll take over now from section 19, which is regarding the Naval Point redevelopment. Tapa Ngāti Wheke is supportive and appreciative of the opportunity that we've had of being involved in this development. However, we do have a couple of concerns relating to the development. One being the lack of provision for a haul-out facility that meets current environmental standards to replace the current inadequate and non-environmentally friendly one that's currently there. The other point that we'd like to make is Tapa Ngāti Wheke does not support any one project being allocated such a significant percentage of the budget available for these types of things within Whakaropō. There's, I believe, looking at the budget, there's more than 90% allocated to the Naval Point development. We feel that especially something of this nature, which provides for more for the leisure pursuits of all of Cantabrians rather than the Banks Peninsula locals, that this redevelopment should be funded from general rates rather than any targeted rates paid by Whakaropō communities, particularly, as we say, when they take such a high proportion of them. The next on our agenda there was section 10, which is about horizontal and other infrastructure. Tapa Ngāti Wheke requests funds be allocated to repair review and upgrade Rapaki horizontal infrastructure to enable Ngāti Wheke to fully utilise the Papakainga plan changes, Plan Change 8, which are currently going through with the district plan. A large number of our whānau have been restricted from being able to live on our ancestral lands because of restricted rules. These will change once the rules become more flexible, and the demand for infrastructure will definitely increase. Over the past 60 years, a number of communities have expanded and grown, and infrastructure has been installed to meet these needs on the peninsula. However, none of this has been within any of the Māori reserve areas within Banks Peninsula. Any infrastructure within Rapaki has been instigated, planned and paid for by the whānau of Rapaki over the last 60 years. Even now, our whānau within Pūrao and Kokorarata do not have access to a water supply or sewage. And that's even with Pūrao only being 2 minutes down the road, down the hill from Diamond Harbour that has those facilities.
Now, Gail, I'm going to need to interrupt at this point. We are at the end of the 10 minutes. If you just had any short concluding remarks you wanted to make.
If I could, yeah. So what we'd like to say is we want to work with our treaty partners to create better outcomes for all. We have an intergenerational commitment to the protection of the area. We're willing to have our takiwā used as a pilot scheme for a holistic approach to plans and actions. We understand the financial constraints, however it is time for all of Greater Christchurch to have a more aspirational, connected plan for our climate change effects for the future and for all of our people. Kia ora. Mo tātou a maka uri a muri ākinei for us and our children after us. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you very much indeed. You haven't left us time for questions, but we do have your extensive written submission in front of us. Thank you for the written submission and for coming along and speaking this afternoon.
Kia
Thank
ora.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Right.
the opportunity.
Thank you. All right.